Instagram Live with Tiana today. Instagram Live with Tiana today. I don't know why I keep thinking I can sing, but I made my own jingle, and hopefully you know what time it is. Thursday, 2 p.m., and I can't wait. I'm going to have a guest, okay? Tony G is coming on this live with me. If you don't know who he is, you're about to find out. And I'm just so pumped. This week is really, really cool because for Creative Director Pro Academy, it is application week. The window is open to apply for something so incredible. Hello, hello. Thank you guys for jumping in on this Thursday afternoon. It is hot here in Los Angeles, but we are thriving and growing and glowing. Yes. So what's so exciting is I get to see people step up to the plate and really put themselves forward and apply for what this program is. And my guest today is somebody who not only took the course, but advocates for the course. And I want him to share what his experience is before, during, after. And so that's what's so cool about this is like, yeah, I can say all the cool things because I believe in it and I love it. But wouldn't it be so great to hear from people who actually experienced what Creative Director Pro Academy is all about? Well, guess what? That's what this next 30 minutes is going to be. And I am thrilled to share all the details that you guys can look forward to. Hola, Tony G. How are you, my friend?
I'm good, beautiful. How's it going?
Oh, I'm so happy to see you here. Thank you for doing this.
Anytime, everywhere, anywhere. I mean, if there was a way to catapult anything that you are doing, I got to figure it out. I don't know. I guess it's got to happen.
Well, Tony, you and I have been in this for quite some time now, this specific journey, but let's be honest, we've known each other for a very long time.
Yes. Yeah, yes. And I love every minute of it.
I do too. And I'm so thankful for you and your support and your energy for all of what this Creative Director Pro Academy world is because you are a trailblazer in your own right. So the fact that you advocate for this means so much.
I appreciate that, but I just have to say, because I talk it every single day, it annoys people. I don't even know if they want to do it or not. But me hearing your truth and coming and being a part of I'm not even going to call it what it is. I'm just going to say just when I first found out that you were going to do something as amazing as this, and it was just conversation pieces. I was blown away. I was taken back because you don't want to open up the gate or unflood things because people want to hold things to their heart and say they can't share this information. And what you brought to my world was the purpose of why I'm still doing what I'm doing is growing, is learning, is sharing, and letting the next group of people find their worth and their voice and their path and just amplifying everybody. So everything that you have done and created on this is meant for everybody. I don't care if you're a creative director, a choreographer, a singer, a dancer, a performer. If you don't understand how to find opportunity within you, and again, the opportunity I found with yours was just conversations, just talking about could this be and what could happen with it. But I didn't know I was going to walk away with information that is valuable every minute of my day.
Tony G, thank you. And it's true. Everything you just said is so true. Is like, yes, it is labeled Creative Director Pro Academy, but that's with purpose. However, a lot of people can gain from it because it just opened your eyes. And you're saying on a daily basis. And I know you're on set every day. And I know that you step onto TV, to commercials, to live events, and it's applicable to everywhere you go.
Listen, on a daily, I didn't even think it was going to be like that. And I talked to you about this, Tiana. I'm like, I feel sometimes like a broken record because when I'm even asked a simple question that I can maybe answer, I mean, still, here's one of my favorites. I just did it. Somebody goes, the light's in my way. And we were judging.
Okay.
We were judging again. The light's in my way. I don't know what that light is, and it's very shiny. It's whatever. You know what? It's funny. I always wanted to know what kind of lights these were, and I go,
Well, sir or ma'am.
yep, you can walk up to here to where the lights are and see if we can read it, and if not, we can talk to the person who set up the whole lighting and just ask what they use and what their purpose was and whatever. And it's super valuable when I walk onto any type of set that I'm not even in charge of, that I might just be an eye to follow. And I didn't even thought like that, Tiana, to even go peek at something or go ask somebody. And that is the way I move in different ways. But that was information to me. That was, what is someone going to say? Yes, no, and I don't know.
Yeah.
And is that gonna bother me? I just wanna get the information, and then you write it in your little piece of paper note, and then
Yeah,
you call it a day, and then you gain information that, whether you're starting out new or old, it's information to help you as you migrate through this entertainment field.
totally. Isn't it? And you know what's so wild is like, isn't that weird that we limit ourselves to think that we can't ask these types of questions on set, or that maybe we're not allowed to be curious about any other department besides the department we've been called to do. So there is something that triggers you in this program that just says, oh, I have permission to go explore and not feel bad about it.
Listen, I thought exploring, I was gonna get busted. My ears are open. I tell you this
Yeah.
all the time as a hustler.
Yeah.
I walk into a room, I do exactly what I need to do, but I'll float over there in my,
What's going on over there?
what's going on over there? Because I don't think that it's going to hurt anything. Because listen, the way that I see it is that what you heard, telephone, whatever it wants to be, you either utilize it to enhance and elevate who you are,
Hmm.
or it's a discovery of, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Or listen, maybe as a conversation you shouldn't be listening to. But the whole thing that I think for anybody and everybody is that if you are not gaining knowledge daily or expressing to learn or inviting, feel that they're missing something.
Yeah.
And one of the things that your course brought out to me was that there is room to continue to grow, which I kind of already knew, but I also felt like I was going to step on people's feet.
Right.
And I didn't wanna step on people's feet. I wanted to come and be respectful and be professional and be all the above. But being that doesn't mean that I can't observe,
Totally.
doesn't mean that I can't see it differently or
Hmm.
take information, and I'm not biting or stealing or wondering. I'm in amazement of, "Wow, I didn't know that," or "I wasn't aware of that," or "I wasn't this and that." And what I hope people would do is take it and make it yours, not what somebody else was.
Of course.
Your course was your course, and I'm using it to make it work for me because I cannot be you.
And I cannot be you, Tony
Yeah.
G. But if I can help your business, right? Because at the end of the day, you are the leader of your pack. You are a choreographer, you are a casting director, you're a director. So you also are fostering these kind of new ways of thinking within your group. And you're noticing that as you step up, you want them to step up, but you're also growing and expanding. How does that trickle effect happen for your team as a whole?
Well, Imma say this again from you. And I had my ways, and always my ways, I believe, still works, but you gotta change it sometimes.
Yeah.
But there was a part where let's say I have my 5 assistants. I'll use it at a time that I had 5 assistants. They're all amazing. They're all doing what they needed to do, but I still had a heavy hand on top of them.
Okay.
And that heavy hand wasn't to tell them that, and it wasn't micromanaging. I wanna make sure that, but that heavy hand was still that they were doing what they did, but they also had, like, that 2% that, Tony's coming. What's gonna be?" But what I learned from you was when you put that person in that position and you give them that freedom, you're giving them that ability to take something off of your plate, and you're believing in that team. And you're saying, "You're in charge of wardrobe. You're in charge of casting over here. You're in charge of the talent. You're in charge of the lead actors. You're in charge." And I can then sit back and work with my producers and directors
Yes.
and work with them and not have to wonder, what is Tiana doing? What is Chris doing? And
Yep.
my mind was always like that. And not because I needed to know, I just wanted to make sure we were on the same page. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, if I brought you on, we're on the same page. And I need you to do what you have to do. And part of what you taught me was, if I'm going to put them in charge over there, let them be the one that speaks to them.
Hello.
I don't need to do that. I learned that from you. I used it today.
Thank you.
Yeah, I use it. It comes and goes in all the things I do because I keep who I am, and
Mhm.
then I take what I learned from this course. And there's so many things that I took from the course that, even though that it was quick, I'll say quick, even though it was long, but quick, short, fast, however anybody wants to read it. I took notes. I took things. The field trips were amazing. The
Mhm.
the extra added advantage that you get to do, the field trips that are going on, the opportunity to go and observe and learn, where I don't ever recall in my journey, and I'm only 20,
Honey.
it is being able to do some of the stuff that you have magically let us do.
I love hearing that. Honestly, Tony, I feel like now that I'm this is we're coming up to round 4, and I'm reminding myself, why this is even here. And I do believe that I created something I wish I had. And you and I have been in this industry in different ways. And so now knowing what this can do for our community of people, of whether people are from dance or whether they come from even a director's perspective, it's all helpful. And it's all things that you can put into action for better organization, clarity from the top to the bottom, to anything that you step, if it's a if it's a small gig or if it's a big gig. I think that what's so cool is that there's a formula. There's a formula that you can adapt into your business that just helps things be a little bit easier and not overwhelming. And I think you, as of somebody who has stepped into so many different pockets, it's really refreshing to see that it can apply to you and how you function. And you did this in 2024. Like, it's been a minute, so you're really applying it even further and further. And I'm not saying, let's call you, what did we call you the other day? A sophomore in Canva?
Yes, a sophomore in Canva. I'm a sophomore in Canva, and people are asking for assistance and help. No. They try like, oh, don't tell anybody. What do you mean, don't tell anybody? It's not some secret. It's not,
Yeah.
as I'm learning and as I'm getting more information, as I'm being told to step away from Chat GPT, Gemini, and go to new places, wherever it might be. I want to go backwards for a second because I want people to remember that we go out to dinner, we buy Starbucks, we pay for our photos, we take dance classes, we do all these things. A long, long time ago, and I mentioned it to Manina, that I've always called the business of dance for what I was doing because it was really called the business of hustle for me. You know what I'm saying? And all that stuff. And that you have to put a little to get a little. And,
Mhm.
everyone to me is curious to know what is it that TG is doing and what is this course? And they really are because when they ask it, they ask, "Oh my God, you ran into Tiana." Oh my, I didn't run into Tiana. We're friends.
We're very good friends.
Yeah, I see her. I took a course from her that blew my mind. And I'm completely honest about it because I am not set in my ways anymore. I can't be. I was a creature of habit to be that way. And the only way, and people like to say, oh, you're trying to stay relevant. Relevant isn't even the key word. What I'm trying to state to people is if you want to find opportunity and growth and explore things that you didn't know that you can maybe possibly do, what is the next step for that dancer, that
Mhm,
choreographer, that creative director, that creative producer,
mhm,
whatever, right?
mhm.
You got to spend some money for it.
Yeah.
Take the class, take a course, take something. This to me is so valuable because I didn't know what I was going to get, and I scribble. So when I scribble, even when you're talking so eloquently, I don't even understand what I'm writing. And you know what? You get to
Yeah.
go back to the video
Yes.
that you have and people aren't going to understand that. I don't know if that's one of your courses of explaining this is what you're going to get in the packet. Do you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Yeah.
Because sometimes people have to be walked to that water and
Mhm.
you're like to understand it. And for me, I didn't care because now I just can't even believe that I was a part of it.
Tony. And having you in the room was so great too, because it is curated for people who are ready in the mindset to put this energy forward, to make this investment for themselves. And so for you who has had great longevity and still continue to thrive in this industry, is it speaks volumes. But I do think that the you're right. The thing that maybe people don't understand is that this is a lifetime access to the modules that I share, that is recorded, and then it's yours. It is yours forever. So imagine it's not an investment of, okay, it's a couple weeks of your life. It's like, no, I'm planting seeds so that I can have real longevity for my life, because I've already committed to the non 9 to 5, or I've already committed to, I'm an artist and I want to be creative and expand myself. But the information that you get, it takes you very, very far. And the more that I teach, the more I get to apply it in real time too. And I'm evolving because the industry evolves, and the more that we're in it, the more we get to share, the more it's like, okay, this is a cool path to take.
Everything you said, because I'm waiting. I know you are creatively trying to see what's going to work, what's next, what might bite, whatever that deal is.
Yeah.
But I feel in any business, we all have to do that. Any way of sharing yourself to anybody. I feel again, for myself, because I talk about it so much. I really do, Tiana. And it sounds like a broken record. And it's just, I don't want anyone to miss the boat. I don't want anyone to say woulda, coulda, should have. Yesterday, nothing to do with the course, but yesterday I sent out um, 27 emails. I'm sorry, 27 texts. I don't normally do that. Maybe once a year, I might do some emails, but I thought I'd send 27 texts to touch base with some people. And I didn't want to cause it or make it a big deal. Long story short, 15 of the 27 responded.
Of course.
I wasn't expecting it because in my mind, I just said, I just want to put it out there in the universe. They all responded. There was all great comments. It wasn't about, I didn't even write, hey, I need a job. I'm looking, I'm networking. I just said, wanted to let you know I was thinking about you. I'm in this, I'm still in this world. And whatever happens, happens. Just wanted to say hello.
I love
Fif
that.
15 of 27 people responded. Why I bring that up is that this course to me, when I say it to people, I remember it just
Mm,
like I remember putting you in my phone.
mm,
And it's not something that I took to say that I was stronger, better, or I knew more. It was, I didn't know that. I
mm,
was unaware of that. Oh, I didn't try it like that.
mm.
Oh, I didn't think that would work for me. And all those things came from taking your course. There's all these people that could say, I teach this way, I can do it that way. Yes, we all have something to say. We all have something to offer. We really do. For those that have been around like you and I,
Yeah,
it's when you put the value to it and you put whether it's money, time, effort, energy to it, that I pray and hope that anyone will get information out of it. And the information, I never wanted to go on Canva.
I know you did. It was not your thing. I mean, I've judged with you before, and I knew that you were not computer savvy. And what it does is like I'm an open book. If you have questions, I'm going to hold your hand all the way through it because I want you to be confident in it. Like that is important to me for you for your life. Like the evolution of technology as we can see, it's going at a fast pace. So you better get in or you better get out, honey. So, and I listen to I think what people need to also hear from me, because I love and respect you so much, is like you and I will have these short conversations. Hey, T, have you considered this for your course? Hey, T, have you considered this for your course? Because I know you're out speaking highly of it. And so you said, hey, somebody brought it up to me. What if it was 10 weeks? And I was like, I don't know if it should be 10 weeks. Well, now it's going to be 10 weeks. And it's 10 weeks because I've added a module about Canva that 'cause it ended up happening every time. There's always a moment in the open office where I have a breakdown of Canva, and I was like, "Why don't I just add it in here so that no one has to fuss or feel like they can't have the freedom or safe place to ask questions, like, let me just lay it out and create a space for it, and then for the presentations, now there's space for that, and we don't have to rush through it."
And it's not just Canva. You introduced us to so much more.
I know, I know.
And Canva, of course, was just the one that I was struggling with. Everyone, my sister's all, I PowerPoint everything. I'm all, yeah, okay. And she's all, what do you use? And I'm all, nothing. This was back then. And then
Nothing.
now I'm like, I'm on Canva, mama. And I
Yes.
send you things too, for her jewelry,
Ooh,
just to, see some things here and there. And she gets it. She knows what she's doing, all stuff. But I'm not, I'm not afraid now to go on and make mistakes. Even though as a sophomore, I'm still like, why don't I know this right now? And I always say it to you, you know this. I was ready to call you, but I didn't. And you're like, why didn't you? Why don't you just reach out and
yes.
and do it? But there's a part of me that when I took your course that said, you too can learn, Tony. You can. We all can still learn. You just got to put your mind to it. And I walked away from that course saying that, gosh, I have to figure out how to imply what's the word I wanted to say? Apply it to
Yeah.
every single thing that I just do because it's everywhere for me, anywhere and everywhere. Because some of the things that you brought up and even your connections that you brought up, they're notated that if I need to look for something, it's right there.
It's right there. I share my resources because my resources, you know that you're going to be able to count on them. And now that I've done this course a couple of times, they know Tiana's speaking about specifically lighting, special effects, screens. Why wouldn't I share resources? Everyone should have a reliable resource because what ends up happening is you get on the gig and you're like, oh, I don't know who to call. Or you get somewhere and they say, oh, you want to do this job? I would love to do the job, but I don't know if I can, I don't know if I have a team. Well, when you're in the space, you start working with like minded people who all have great, their own skills. Somebody might be better at styling, somebody might be better at choreography, somebody might be better at putting a deck together. You almost start also formulating these relationships with the people in the program.
100%. The resources, I mean, listen, I know you're getting ready to start in April,
Mhm.
and I just posted another thing of yours. I took it from your story and
You're so
reposted
sweet.
it.
Thank you.
And I'm hoping that for all these people who, whether they secretly are asking or are wondering, or I don't even know how to say it to them and all, because I don't want to pitch it to them other than you need to take it. Because I talk about it all the time. But when I mean pitch it, I don't want to break them down and tell them every reason why, because
Yeah.
I want their journey to be specific to them. But I also want them to know that you can't sit back and wonder unless you're doing something for yourself to elevate whatever it might be. And
Yeah.
maybe this wondering, you can get information from here that then sparks something else for you down the
Absolutely.
line. I just don't want people to miss the boat, because I feel in our industry, the older you get, the older you think there's no more for us. That we pass on, there's nothing left to do. I'm going to go get married, I'm going to have kids, I'm going to do whatever it is. And to me, I feel that if you believe in something and you see your worth, take it until you can't do it anymore.
Yes.
And then that's when you retire. Maybe you're not dancing because you got 3 hip replacements or whatever it is. But I'm also that guy that I really don't care what my position is, because I want to learn. I
Mhm.
want to say to myself, you thought you knew everything. And I really did. I really did think I knew everything, but I only knew what Tony knew because
Right.
of what he got, and it worked for him. But I didn't step out of that world because I said, why would I? I'm Tony. I'm going to do that. And now since 2024,
Yeah. You're doing it.
that's it. I'm just taking the information.
Yeah, and I see you. I mean, I didn't even know you were gonna be available for this call because 'cause you've been traveling so much, but
I'm packed. If I show you my luggage, I'm leaving right after this.
and you squeezed me in. Thank you. You squeezed everybody in for this, and it's so important because I know you do not stop, Tony G. Like, you are the king of gigs of all sorts and all types. And what I've also been really, because you and I started, well, we were judging dance competitions, right? We were doing UDA.
Or that too, but or when I took your picture when you were with Brittany.
Oh gosh, I know. Let's go all the way back to when she was a little dancer diva. But no, what's so fascinating is that you've also welcomed people into this space that, like Toya, she is the Lovables creative director. And I didn't even realize that, yes, this information pertains to even the sports world and all the places that happen to put on live entertainment. Like you opened that door, and now there's a whole world that people didn't realize could come together, basically.
No, listen, I'm going to give you a quick example before we bounce this. TED Talks.
Yeah.
There's a production that has to go through it.
Yeah.
There has to be a stage manager. There has to be lighting. There has to be staging. There has to be all this other stuff. So you're a creative director in a different way. And, and when I did HP, one of the things many years back, had to put 2,000 people on. You know what I'm saying? I had to figure out how to do that stuff. And everyone's all, but what was the dancing? But not everything has to involve dancing.
Not everything has to involve dance. You're
I think
absolutely
so.
right.
So there's so many outlets that people have to understand, that where can it lead you to? And maybe you're in a different field that, wow, I didn't know that. And that's the beauty of your course, is that everything that you're talking about takes from something: stage,
Yeah.
television, film, music video, industrials, live talking, speakers. There's
Mhm.
so many things that, Lollapalooza, there's so many things that happen before the shows and the artists that have to, go back and forth and back and forth. And I told you on the last thing I did, 30 ROSs. I had to create 30 run of shows that until it got approved. And at the end of the day, it didn't get approved because the big wig said, we're just going to handle it. But I had to go through making that. And,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have known some of that stuff or setting that up if I didn't have Canva.
Yes, I know. I genuinely believe that this is like a space, and I know this sounds like really wild, but it is a course of creative freedom. If you want to put yourself in a position on any set, and you want the confidence, and you want to be put through 30 versions of a run of show and say, I know I can do this. This is that space that gives you clarity on how to do it effectively. And you're right. I don't know how to share it any more than just keep pouring into the community and saying, I'm going to keep teaching until I can't, because I believe that this is a space for people to thrive, and we should never feel limited, and we should never feel like we know everything. And the more that I do this, the more I get to keep pouring in and saying, oh, this is what I learned new on this set. That's why we have the community. We're maintaining that momentum. So yeah,
And they forget that you break down things. There's Tiana, I can go on and on and on. And it's not a joke. It's that I wish that when people go take class and you buy 10 classes, this is my 10 classes. You know, people want to know why I do TikTok. I do TikTok because they're my dance class, my personal dance class, not my
yes,
vision. So I found a different way to get my dance in my head. And then I want to take care of my business. So people who are taking dancers, choreographers, whatever, continue to grow and elevate yourself by getting information. And your
yes.
course is full of information.
Tony, thank you. It is. It's full of information. There is it's like an unlimited amount of things that I can only cram into 10 weeks, but what I can do, because I do think that the way that I've delivered the information is it's enough for you to go and just run with it and have fun. Like, no one wants to be, there's a part, right, when you're in your life that you feel a little bit jaded and you're like, but maybe it's because I need to step up into a new space to be challenged, to have more responsibilities, to want to be engaged in conversations that you're curious about, that you wanna listen to, but you don't really know if you should, like we talked about earlier. This is that space that gives you that answer.
And you know what? I ran with it even after the course. And remember,
Yeah.
I wasn't able to take the last week.
No, I know.
I
You can't
wasn't
make
able.
it.
And you 2 weeks later still walked me through my deck and
I did.
still helped me out and still gave me information. I mean, listen, I don't find that anywhere else in where I take a course. Once you take a course, you're done with it. It's like wash your hands. And then I didn't have time to go back and research it, but you have it all ready there for us. I mean, it's so valuable. The best thing that I just want to say to people is believe in yourself, believe in your worth, and go and find things to continue to elevate you in the choices that you choose to do with your career. And that's, again, creative directing in any shape or form that it might be, because your course has kept me continuing to move, amplifying my hustle.
That's right, Tony G. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am so appreciative of you. I'm gonna put this up on the replay. I'm sure people might ask questions. Safe travels, and I can't wait to see you very soon.
Always, I love you to death and say
I
hi to
love
the
you
fam.
too. I
Bye, babe.
will. Okay, bye.